Welcome back, Rellism Sports Talk, episode 131. Got a new surroundings, all kinds of things. I'm at my brother's crib. Welcome back. It don't matter where we're at, we're still doing the same old thing. Thank y'all for watching on YouTube. Thank you for listening on Spotify, podcasts, Anchor Music, everything. Shout out to JMU, Colleen. Hopefully JMU can get in Marshall's butt since what they did to my Notre Dame fight in Irish. We talked about that. And then my new dudes, Casey and Logan. I got the Yankees on behind me just for you guys. Let me know when y'all ready to jump on, fellas. You know what I'm saying? We're doing big things with the podcast. Episode 31. I don't have my mom picture and everything, whatever, but I love my Commanders. I got love for the Mamba and all the love for my mama, because on Rellism Sports Talk, we talk about sports from Hall of Famers to the local talent to the big time storylines. And the big time storylines, of course, is week 6 recap. It's the Wednesday recap. Week 7, we talk about pivotal games. I'm going to give you my fantasy aspects as well as the reality. Concerns for some contenders that we thought was going to be about it. I don't know. The trading deadline is coming up. Trade block people, where they could go to fit in, who can help who. I'm going to go through all that for you, and then all the rest of the big time storylines. So let's jump into it, because this week, week 6, was upset city. I don't know people that play the pick'ems where you pick who's going to win and who's not. I don't know who could have won. You might have won with 4 games right this time. Because the first game I'm going to talk about is the Patriots over the Browns. I mean, how is Bill Belichick doing this? How's he doing this? You know what I mean? I don't know what they're doing. I know Stevenson's out here running crazy. The defense is playing well. I think this just shows, don't forget about Coach Belichick just because Tom won a ring with Tampa Bay. That team was good. Don't forget about it, because now look at it, which we'll get to later. But on the other side, the Browns, dude, y'all have had chances to win after chances to win after chances to win. And I don't know what's going on. Now you're 2-4. You got Watson in the building. We got Mr. Rub Down himself in the building. And you still lose. You're blowing games. My thing is, how much do they regret not going to get Jimmy G when they had a chance for those 11 games? How their season could change, especially the way you look at their division. Because that division, that AFC North, it's not good. There's my brother in the house.
Rellism.
Doing big things. This guy stays busy, yo. This guy stays busy. If you don't know about it, check out my Facebook page. His whole business on there. They winning awards and all kinds of stuff. Fixing up everybody's crib. Doing all kinds of things.
Yo, back to the Jimmy G, though. My man got his job back and ain't got paid.
But what about Cleveland? If Cleveland would have got him in that trade.
That's a lot of what ifs.
I think
there's a lot of what ifs.
Though. They're 2-4. Yeah, you know. But the team that he plays on, they just lost to the Falcons. They had a chance after they just beat the Rams last week to take a stranglehold on the division, because the division is up in the air. Then you lose to the Falcons?
I mean, that was all the early games all last week. I mean, everything was upset city.
Upset city, dude. So I'm looking at it, I'm like, the Falcons are fighting. I think their coach is going to survive another year because of the way they fight. But the 49ers, dude, you just blew an opportunity. Your division, nobody wants to take over. You had a chance to get a stranglehold on it, and you blow it. And now you're 3-3, just like the rest of them.
Well, I mean, 3-3, you're sitting 500. I don't think it's quite out of the question. You know, the league this year is a toss-up. I mean,
it is.
Anybody see all the teams from New York doing what they're doing? I didn't see it. I didn't see it.
New York. Speaking of New York, the Jets. 4-2 with the MILF Hunter. They just beat Aaron Rodgers and your fantasy quarterback.
Don't get me started on Aaron Rodgers. Killing me this year. Killing me.
So my question is, how are the Jets winning when all my fantasy wide receivers on the Jets ain't never getting the ball? It's just defense and running the ball.
I mean, it's just back to the basics.
It's crazy.
You know, we heard this as kids. Defense wins the game.
That's what we hear. So and on the other side, the Packers, your boy. Why can they not score any points?
So we can go back. Let's pull the notes. I had Aaron Rodgers as my MVP pick this year. It's on the board.
It's on the board. Sticky note. It's on the board.
I can't give you an answer. I mean, he is literally just, he's just not showing up. I don't know what's going on.
He's a prima donna. Nobody wants to play with him. He yells at everybody else. Everything's always somebody else's fault. I can't stand Aaron Rodgers. But my thing is, Aaron Jones is the best player on the team, and he never gets the ball. Is it all about Aaron Rodgers throwing it for himself? Or what is it? Or is it, I know the coach don't have nothing to do with it because Aaron Rodgers controls everything.
Well, I mean, he's always been one of those quarterbacks. Once he has a favorite receiver, he sticks to that side. He sticks to, like, he's a pretty, I guess I would say predictable quarterback, but what makes him good is even though he's predictable, he can put the ball where he needs to put it. But I can't say that because, I'm sitting here trying to start him every week, having faith, and I got Golf on my bench putting up like 40 points. I got Cousins, who's basically Aaron Rodgers.
You like that? I feel you with that. And then the other New York team is now 5-1. They're 5-1. It's the same thing with the Jets. Neither one of them, you can say nothing about any receiver on their teams. They both have stud running backs. They have coaches that are hardcore. How the hell are the Giants 5-1? I mean, and to make it even worse, they beat the Ravens, who last week they beat Cincinnati to get a lead on the division, and now they're 3-3.
I mean, did we put the Giants out of contention because of all the years that they've had, all the turmoil? Did they finally find what works for them and we underrated them? Or is this just pure New York luck? You know what I'm saying?
I don't know, man. I've loved the coach. I love the coach. He came from Buffalo. I've always been high on him. That's why I said Daniel Jones will have a chance. Saquon Barkley is going to win comeback player of the year. But how are they winning? I'll tell you how they're winning. The Jets and the Giants, both at the beginning of before the season, we said they had two of the best drafts. And what made their draft so well, they drafted from the inside out. Their line on the offensive and defensive line is spectacular. And like I said, they're not throwing any wide receivers, and they both got like 15 of them that people are playing in fantasy. They're still in it with the running game.
And your line's always your long-term investment. Your line is a long-term investment. I think it gets underrated in the draft. I think a lot of people go for these standout stars when sometimes it's better to build, like you said, from the inside out.
And that's why my organization always sucks, because we never draft nobody well, especially not on inside at all. Washington.
No, you don't even y'all.
But the Ravens, though, we're looking at Lamar Jackson. And Swole, this is for you, because I'm not going to give Lamar Jackson any hate. I hate on him for getting the money that he wants because I don't think he throws the ball well. But he's putting up phenomenal numbers with little talent, but they keep losing close games.
So let me back a little bit. I'm going to disagree there. I think because his run game is so strong and because he has the ability to be like this spark player, like, right when you think he's collapsed, you think you've got him, he's not there and he's outside and he's running. But I've seen the boy throw, and I think he has the arm. I think we underrate the guy's arm. I think they have what they take, and I think they're getting it right now.
I think his arm is good. I just don't think the accuracy there. But they never give him any daggone wide receivers to throw to at all. So how do we ever know? They don't give him any kind of talent.
I just never count Baltimore out. They're just one of those teams. They kind of stay middle of the road, and it seems like playoffs hit, and they're definitely, a different team once that time comes around.
I agree. But my thing that I think people forget about is the guy, the longest tenured coach or whatever, Mr. Harbaugh himself. I think, and George Teague will attest to this, when teams lose a lot of games by close decisions or by a whole lot of penalties, it's the coaching fault. He never gets blamed for anything as far as coaching. We always look at Lamar. But you got 3 blown leads where you're up by double figures, and those are your 3 losses. I think the coaching has to come into some kind of something.
Agree. Yeah, I disagree a little bit. I can't put it all on the coach. I think when you lose by that little bit, when that inch, it's everybody's fault, because you could do everything right, but what you didn't do right, you didn't win. So it's coaching, it's players, it's that drive. Like, okay, we're right here at the finish line. It's on you as a team to push across that finish line. You can't put it all on one person.
It's a lot, because they blew a big ass lead to your team. When y'all were right, which we'll get to. But another team that was for dead that I can't stand, the Steelers beat Tom Brady and the Bucks. The Steelers left for dead. They got their rookie quarterback. Everybody thinks he's the greatest thing ever in the world. He's not. He got the little miniature hands with a whopper. He's not doing all that. But Tom Brady and them lose again to suspect squads. So when I look at Pittsburgh, I'm like, Mitchell Trubisky came in there and played carefree, played well, finally helped Deontay Johnson on my fantasy team. I don't think they're really going to amount to nothing. They're going to play tough because they're the Steelers. Steelers are one of them organizations that will always play tough. But for the Bucks, in that division that they're in, which they're tied for the league now, they're not even like head and shoulders above. Are they gonna? Is it a health issue or is it a distraction issue with him and Giselle? What do you think?
You know, that's one of those.
I mean,
That's one of those things. You can never count Brady out, but also you see a change in him this year. He doesn't look the same. I mean, he looks so underweight. You could see the stress on him. Obviously, that's going to play factors from into the locker room as well. When that moxie's not there,
Yes.
the rest of the team feels like they're not as confident, and they're not used to having to step up because he's made the team.
right.
You know, I think, is it age? Is it the stress? I think, you know, I just don't see the Bucks getting the long term out of what they thought they were going to have this year. I just don't.
So if their line gets healthier, I have one person that they could trade for that could change their whole team, and you're not gonna like it. But going to another division that's all up in the air, the 49ers division, we saw the Seahawks with Geno Smith out here doing this much better, Tommy, than Russell Wilson. They just beat my Cardinals, who might be the most utterly disappointing team in the history of football. Again, the Cardinals are 2-4, the Seahawks are 3-3. The Seahawks are playing with nothing to lose. I feel like they're playing with nothing to lose. It's a fun story to watch. I hate their coach, so I can't cheer for them like that. But the Cardinals, is there any hope for the Cardinals getting D-Hop back? And they traded for Antonio Brown Jr. and Robbie Anderson since he got kicked out the game last week, and then he gets traded.
I don't think there's hope there. I think that, you know, that's an organization that's got a long road ahead of them.
And they just paid everybody, GM, head coach, and quarterback.
I mean, that's moves that were made internally. Was the money spent right? You know, I just don't think that they're there yet. I just think they've got a rebuild, basically.
I don't understand it, man. Their coach never succeeded in college. He never had nothing. Kyler Murray has always been questioned about his work ethic. They put in a contract that he had to study a certain amount of times because he played too many video games. And now you're seeing these things.
I forgot about it.
It's a detailed NFL to be great. That's why you look at Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, people like that study the game so much. That's why they were great.
But at that level, there shouldn't be a distraction. There shouldn't even have been media about the clause at that level. You're a professional at that level. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, it's just.
So how did it leak? Because somebody's concerned about it.
Well, I mean, I would say somebody's concerned about it, but it's also, you know, it's the media, it's the NFL. Like, there's a little bit of a dark cloud they're going to put over, and it's just one more distraction, you know, to kind of put on that team's shoulders.
And it's killing them. But they play tomorrow night. I'm playing D-Hop. I'm playing Kyler Murray.
Thank God it's not Denver on a prime time again. It was like 6 games in a row. If I watch Denver,
that was nap time.
I got to watch Denver one more time. If I got to watch Denver on a Sunday, I'm done.
Tommy, let's ride. Instead, it's like, let's snooze. Good Lord.
Primetime football this year.
But the big time game was the Bills and the Chiefs. It was what we thought, close game all the way to the end. My takeaway from it was the Bills still are going to get better because they have salary cap room and their best corner, White's coming back. I look at the Chiefs. I think they're ceiling. You know, you get rid of Tyreek Hill, and I feel like the things that Patrick Mahomes is doing, he had to throw 4 touchdowns last week to Kelsey to win a game. You can't do that every week. What's scarier for you? I think it's the Chiefs. I think they need to make a move at the trade deadline because I'm not comfortable with them.
I'm going to agree 100% with, and it puts a lot of stress back on the quarterback for them right now. You got a franchise player, and it's like up to him to make this happen because all that money's tied up in him. You can't build a team. It's on the team to build themselves right now.
That's right. So, yeah, I agree. Yeah. I agree with that completely. And I don't know. We're going to get to the trade deadline because I got some answers for both teams. All right, so the Eagles, fly, Eagles, fly, die, Eagles, fly, whatever. They're 6-0. Props to you guys.
Didn't see that coming either.
I mean, I thought they'd be good, not undefeated, but the Cowboys played them tough. After being down early, they played them tough and came back, which makes me nervous about the Eagles because, like Mortal Kombat, when you get teams, finish them. Because when you get to the playoffs, you're giving somebody hope. These are elite teams that make the playoffs. I mean, these ain't going to be no bums. You need to get in the mindset of crushing people when they're down. And I don't see the Eagles crushing people when they're down. They let them hang around, and hanging around can bite you in the butt.
I think there's a lot of season left too. You got to look at health at that point, and you've got to look at if you let a team hang around, like you said, you let a team hang around, they're going to beat you. You have to put the gas to the floorboard from the start, and you don't let off until that.
Go get them. I mean, the Cowboys had 3 interceptions, 2 missed field goals, and the one was going to try to get them to the onside kick to get the ball back. and you still barely lost. The Eagles, oh yeah, you're 6-0, but this bye week, you better clean up some stuff. And the Monday night game, we talk about the Broncos. Russell Wilson had his first quarter was the best quarter combined out of every game he's played this year, and they still lost.
I wish I could say I was watching it. It was on, but I literally could not even from the start, from the kickoff. Just don't get me started.
Yo, the funniest thing is, I try to tell people, man, you can watch teams in a team sport how they act before the game starts, during the game, whatever. Before the game started, he's walking around the sideline, and you're walking past your running backs and your receivers, and ain't no, hey, let's go, let's do it.
No interact.
Nobody wants to be like, yeah, let's go. It's not there. He's a prima donna. He's a system quarterback, and now it's showing. And he's playing so bad, so now he's on the injury report. Come on, man.
It's a cancer, and
it's a cancer.
It'll spread. It'll spread.
On the other side, we got Herbert, who got crushed when they played the Chiefs and ripped some cartilage in his ribs, and he's playing hurt every game. But that team rallies around him like, you're playing hurt for us. We're gonna do that for you. I don't see it on the other side, and that's why the Chargers are 4-2.
I mean, that's a leader. I mean,
that's a leader.
You're showing, your team, I'm here, and you're leading that team. They're going to back you 100%.
That's right. And the coach, the Hackett for the Broncos, how are you not even going to tell Melvin Gordon he's not going to play? You just told this dude, they put him on the big screen with a clown face and made fun of this dude, and you didn't have his back at all. You didn't even tell him he wasn't going to play. This dude's going to be fired. I think both coaches need to be fired.
So is there more going on inside that organization that hasn't leaked yet? That's the question. I mean, what's.
Maybe. But when Javonte Williams was there as the running back before he got hurt, Williams was getting a lot of Melvin Gordon was getting a lot of carries too. So now that Williams is out for the year, why is Gordon all of a sudden? You know what I'm saying? It's the coach. He's one of them. And where did the coach come from? Green Bay with who? He was quarterback coach for Aaron Rodgers, another prima donna. He thinks he can outsmart everybody else. When they asked Russell Wilson, are you going to play? Are you hurt? Hackett said, I'll decide whether he's going to play or not. That's what I'm saying. He's another. He's not going to last.
That's the control. Look at me. Yes. I have control over my organization.
And Aaron Rodgers, it's the same thing.
I get it.
Yep. So when we come back for the podcast, people listening, we'll be right back. We're going to talk about players that's on the trading block that can get traded to help contenders. Everybody watching on YouTube, you're going to watch me take a sip.
Big time storyline.
Yes. What is it, still 1-1?
1-1. How about that Padres game?
Woo. That was a big comeback. Big comeback. Ready?
Is it stop?
No. We ready.
Are we coming back?
We back. Rellism Sports Talk. My brother will be back in a minute. He's refreshing his beverage. But we're going to talk about the trade deadline. The trade deadline is coming up. So I got a few players that I think should be on the trade deadline, or on the trade market, and ones that might not be, that you might not know about. The first one, of course, we talked about Melvin Gordon. If you're not going to use him, he already put that on Twitter. I don't know what it is about social media now. People just I'm going to take down my team's things because I'm mad. What kind of girl crap is that? Facebook thugs. I hate this
that's
stuff.
Bad culture. That's bad.
But that's what the world is now. It's crazy. It's crazy.
That's the me mentality. I think a lot of players, and even in business, we've talked about this. You overvalue your contributions to the business, and that's that culture. Like, listen, yes, you may be good, but being humble is everything.
And you're exactly right. What's that? I hear trash cans beating, buzzers going off. Oh, the Astros just hit a home run. They must have stolen another sign. I don't know what happened. But Melvin Gordon. So I got two teams that I think that he can help get to the playoffs or do big in the playoffs. Obviously, one of them is my Cardinals. Eno Smith ain't it. James Conner ain't been it. But I think if Melvin Gordon came over to the Cardinals, I think that he can really help. And then my second team was the Bills. He played college, at Wisconsin, cold weather. The Bills, I'm not sold on Singletary because when it gets down to the nitty-gritty of the playoffs, I think he could be a big help for that. You think either one of them teams is good for him? Or
I don't see if Buffalo's smart, you just make it happen under the table because that's a good trade, pickup for you.
Get them cheap.
Get them cheap. I don't see Arizona making it happen right now with everything they've got going on.
They're stupid.
Yeah.
Another guy that has fallen out of favor with this team is Cam Akers, who I love because of fantasy football, but they didn't sat him out. He ain't even playing. He won a ring last year. With the Rams, and they said, "No, fine." I think two teams, the Chiefs, even though they got 14 running backs, CEH, Ronald Jones, Pacheco, and McKinnon, I think that he can step in there and be like a Kareem Hunt. And my other team is the Seahawks. The Seahawks, underrated, they're 3-3. They're tied for the division lead. You can go there with a fresh start. The only person you're battling is a rookie. What do you think?
I think that's reasonable. I don't see Kansas City picking him. I don't see Kansas City making any moves right now.
And that's scary. Because we both talked about it. Compared to Buffalo,
again, small points, small moves, just moving your chess pieces. And right now, I think Kansas City, they've got a full plate and there's just too much ego, too much talent. You're not going to be like, you bring him in and he's just going to sit. He's going to be very,
you don't want that.
Yeah, he's going to be like, get me out of here. So I think Seahawks are, it's a viable move.
All right, the cream of the crop, Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey for the Carolina Panthers, they're shopping him. One of the best running backs in football. My number one team, probably my only team that I think that would enhance him dramatically would be the 49ers and a Kyle Shanahan system offense. Him in the backfield, you got Debo back there. You don't know the way they run the ball for the 49ers.
That West Coast spread.
My God. I think that Christian McCaffrey will excel so much there. And that could put him over the top. And I've always said if the 49ers are right, they're the only team in the NFC that can battle the Eagles to get to the Super Bowl. What do you think? You think your boys would do good with him? Because I'm not sold on Mostert or Chase Edmonds.
That's how my boys are. We don't ever make a move that's smart, period.
Some. But Tyreek Hill was a leading receiver in football right now.
But, I think, are you looking at like what's more realistic? I think San Francisco is the better pickup. And I think that fits his, it fits his style. I think the entire offense fits him. It kind of gives them a little bit more of a confidence boost than what they're going through right now.
I'd be scared to death with Debo and him both back there. Who will get the ball? Where's it going to go?
That two-back sets.
That'd be crazy.
You don't need one great running back. You just need two good running backs, and it becomes a threat. That's
and he's great. If he's healthy. Another guy who's not back healthy yet is OBJ, but I think when he comes back, he's going to have a choice.
Get me started.
Dude, he's going to have a choice because the Rams already want him. They already given him a contract. The Ravens have already said they would take him, and they need to give somebody to Lamar. The Chiefs, we talked about the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs need to make some kind of move to get a wide receiver because they're not good at all. Kelsey's getting the ball. And then my one dark horse team that nobody talks about, who has a 2-game lead in their division and the tiebreaker, is the Vikings. And they have Justin Jefferson, who might be the number one wide receiver in football, in my opinion.
Got him on fantasy.
I know. That's why you're killing. And you put OBJ. What happened last year with OBJ? He joined forces with the number one wide receiver in fantasy and Cooper Kupp. Now you go to Minnesota. I think that could change their whole team. Any of those teams, or you got another team?
I'm going to tell you right now, he's a cancer. And the fact that there's all this controversy, he's constantly switched so many teams. Yes, the guy is an athlete, but also we got to look at age at this point. We've got to look at like media reputation. We've got to look at team reputation. The guy is a cancer to me. And I think, yes, it's a ticket seller. It's a jersey seller. I think it's great for a team that's kind of struggling with some money, trying to struggle with a fan base.
He ain't gonna go there.
But at that point, even if I'm a good team, I don't want you. You know what I'm saying?
Really? You don't think they could take him over the top?
Nah.
And I mean, you might be right. That's why Dallas said they didn't want him.
Too much personality.
Dallas said they didn't want him, and they love drama in Dallas. I mean, they love a whole lot of big D. I'm D for drama, not for nothing else.
We're swole.
And the last person I put on here is a guy that didn't get his 10-year renewed. He's on a franchise. Your boy, Mike Gesicki. Mike Gesicki is not utilized. I know he's doing his little gritty backwards and crazy stuff when he scores touchdowns. I say the Bucs make a trade for him because both of their tight ends got concussions, problems. Tom Brady does not look comfortable in there.
This is typical Miami.
Tom Brady gets Gesicki. Baby Gronk. Here we go.
That's exactly where I was going with it. This is typical Miami. We talked about this at the beginning of the year. I have been a Gesicki fan. He is baby Gronk. I think he's got a little bit to develop. Like, I think he's got, a little bit of game that could change within him. Yeah. But do not let him go, Miami. I don't know if anybody's watching on Heads of Miami or whatever, but do not let him go. Build your offense as he's a threat. He's there.
Dude, he lines up in the slot. He doesn't even line up on the line. He lines up as a slot.
Of a refrigerator.
Mismatch.
Yeah. Please don't, Miami, but they will.
I can see it. Tom Brady's going to say, give me Mike Gesicki. He's going to get his baby Gronk. and it's gonna happen. I don't know how we got real dark on that, and now we can see the smile. Yeah,
If Miami, God, don't get me started, man.
I'm nervous about it, and I'm not even gonna bring up Josh Jacobs. They didn't renew his. He's playing well. Team might want to just go get him, but you're gonna have to pay after that because he's gonna want a contract the way he's playing this year.
That's something I don't understand with these teams too. Like, I get, caps. I get you're trying to free up money, but there's some guys that you could make stable in your organization, like Miami with Gesicki. Like, why wouldn't you have just given him from the start? Like, you can tell
he's not going to demand top.
No, and he's an athlete. He's not top money. He's somebody that's just there. That's like, you've got this receiving core that's the most ridiculous receiving core in the NFL. If you start shutting them down, he's just right there underneath because he's bigger than a linebacker.
He's humongous.
He's huge and he's fast.
Yeah, and I don't understand it. I don't understand what they're doing. They made some great moves off season, but if you let him go for something that you could have paid to keep,
now you have no tight ends. Now you got nothing.
I don't know, man. So that was my week 6 recap of the upset cities and the trade deadlines and what we think could happen. Obviously, my team didn't account for nothing because we suck as usual.
I feel sorry for all DC sports teams right now.
Hey, not all of them. The Capitals are okay.
No.
Until the playoffs.
That's an organization right there, man.
Speaking of the Capitals, the NHL and the NBA just started, but I don't care. Not until Christmas. Nobody cares.
Got a long way to go.
The Yankees are down 3-0. Yo, come on, Casey and Logan, man. We got to get this win. Anyway, we're going to finish up with week 7. We're going to do some fantasy aspects for each game that I bring up. It's the return of the man, or return of the Dak. He's coming back. Dak Prescott's coming back for Dallas. But so on the other side, the Lions are getting Swift and St. Brown back. I think this is a trap game for Dallas. I think everybody's going to be happy that he's back. My upset of the week is Detroit beating Dallas.
We talked about this at the beginning of the season. I've been kind of following Detroit a little bit. Like, I've been following the organization. I think that they've got some momentum. I like the coaching staff that's there. I like the culture that's there. And I've got Goff as like my third string on my fantasy, sitting on my bench and putting up so much points. But we all know
how this week coming up.
Yeah, but we all know how Goff is. You put him in, and it's a wrap for you.
I think the Lions are just like the Raiders. And big shout out to you, Drew. I think there are 1-4 teams that are better than what their record is. Better than their record.
Let's back up a little bit though. I don't agree with putting. I think you give Dak a snap or two, but I don't think you just.
Oh, he's coming back. He's back. They say he's healthy. They said he cleared.
That's another overrated player for me.
They said he cleared.
Too much money.
I mean, it's getting kind of tough. If they lose this game to Detroit, it's going to be a whole lot of Cooper. It's going to be a whole lot of nonsense, in my opinion. But another person coming back, D-Hop, coming off a suspension, and now they got Robbie Anderson too. I think it's a must-win going against the Saints.
So I try to be sneaky. I wanted D-Hop, and somebody picked him up. I don't know who was in the league.
Probably me. I got to
pick him up, but good for you. I was trying to be sneaky. I was like, oh, he's getting ready to come back. I think that's a game changer.
I hope so, because I'm disappointed in the Cardinals. But the Saints, they said Jameis Winston and Andy Dalton are available. If they're smart, they'll play Andy Dalton, because that way Taysom Hill can play and Kamara can play. But I hope they don't, because I want the Cardinals to win. I think it's going to be a sneaky fantasy matchup, depending on who the quarterback for the Saints is. The Giants, 5-1 freaking Giants. We already talked about it. I think this is a potential letdown game. This is another one of those.
This is like a trap game. You're looking so far ahead. You're not looking at the Jags. This is a trap game. You're looking ahead to week 8.
You're reading the press clippings.
Yeah.
5-1. We New York. We doing all this. The Jaguars have played tough against everybody. They've had a couple bonehead games. They're at home. Don't be surprised if the Giants win this game at all.
I think the Giants win, but I think the Jags could set them back on the heels a little bit. I think it could be a little bit better than what we think, but who knows?
I'll take the money. Give me the plus whatever the Jaguars are getting. I'll take that.
As a Miami fan, I never trust Florida sports. You know what I'm saying?
The Ravens, another team that's 3-3 that had their chance. I think this is a must win against the Browns.
So I agree.
I think it's a must win, because
we talked about this earlier. The Ravens always kind of sit middle of the road, and then they have that little pull off second gear that they find at the end of the season. Let's just see.
I'm nervous because
I can't make a pick on this one, but I just don't think they're out yet. I think that there's just a lot of negative media against them right now, but they're a dangerous team. They're a very dangerous
win just because I think Cleveland has folded up after blowing all these opportunities. I think they don't have no faith in their quarterback. But I tell you what, if they lose, that division goes crazy. Everybody will be 3-4, but the Bengals will have a chance to be 4-3 with the lead. That's nuts to me. Speaking of nuts, the Jets have a chance to go 5-2. The Jets
against my favorite primetime team to watch.
That's right.
The Broncos. I think that's a wrap. Tommy, I'm sorry, but y'all.
We say that, but I think this is another one of those games. Stay hungry. Don't read the press clippings.
Don't fall back. Don't fall
back.
back.
They're a young team.
Yeah,
They're
don't
a
fall
team
back.
that's young. Stay hungry and beat the team you're supposed to beat.
Press the gas. Come in there, like you said, come in from the start, and you just 100 miles an hour from the
and
jump.
go get them. But I don't know if they will. I think the Broncos have a chance to be one of those big upsets.
Broncos will lull you to sleep. They're the most boring team.
But their defense is good.
Yeah.
Their defense is good. Those are my trap games. New York are both on trap games. My fantasy game of the week, Seahawks and Chargers. I think there's going to be so many points scored because I think both defenses are suspect. I think all the running backs, all the receivers, I play all of them. I would even play Geno Smith as a quarterback. If you had somebody on waivers or somebody on a bye week like Jalen Hurts, I would play Geno Smith to pick that up. I think this is going to have the most fantasy impact of all the games in the week.
Yeah, I agree. I think fantasy wise, this is your point maker. As far as the division goes, this is just a toss-up game. I think it's going to be high scoring. I really do.
And I think both teams need to really win because if the Chargers go to 5-2 in their division and the Seahawks can go to 4-3, because the Chiefs play the 49ers, which the 49ers are one of them teams. They can beat the best. They can lose to the worst. It's at the 49ers place. And we saw the Chiefs on the road against the Colts and lay a freaking egg. So the Chargers could take over the league in the division, even though we think the Chiefs are probably the second and third best team in the whole NFL. So I think those two games are tough.
Yeah,
that's what makes it fun. That's what makes the NFL so fun because you never know. Now to your team, Dolphins,
Steelers,
Tua,
big matchup. Always
coming back. Steelers got a big win last week that I never thought they would win. The Dolphins have something but Tua's going to bring a spark. Do you think y'all can go on the road and win?
So we started off so hot as a Miami fan. Best start. I was so excited. Awesome. So excited. I'm going to tell you right now, we've talked about this. I'm not a fan of Tua. We saw it in Cincinnati. We had a chance to win that game, and that interception to Tyreek Hill was everything, the game changer. He doesn't have the arm. He's going to be coming back cautious. And we don't know his health, that time off, the mentality, getting rocked like that. And then Miami has a crosshair against him right now. Like there is so much scrutiny on their protocol. Like, he's going to be afraid to get hit. The coaches are going to be afraid to keep him in after he gets hit. You know what I'm saying? So I think that disrupted the whole flow of the team for the year. And unfortunately, as a Miami fan, I think we do okay, but I just think this is the end of the road for us.
What I think is absolutely agree with what you said, because I saw the Steelers defense last week. They looked hungry at home, and they're going to be hungry against a wounded animal who admitted he had no clue what was going on when he had a concussion. He didn't even remember being there, and that's going to play like ghosts in his mind. And
you never come. I mean, it takes a long time to come back off of it. If anybody, I've had it, anytime you have a concussion, it takes you a long time to get your legs back under you. You may be okay, you may be cleared, but you're just foggy. You're still there. Yeah. And like I said, you're going to be afraid to get hit. The coaches are going to be babying you. They're going to follow you basically and be like, okay, well, you got rocked. Let's pull you out. And the Steelers, again, like we talked about, that's another team like Baltimore. They're just middle of the road. And then all of a sudden they just sneak into the playoffs and they're just grimy in the playoffs.
And it's crazy because the team we're going to talk about now is a team that I was comparing the Steelers or Miami or whoever to, is the Patriots. The Patriots have a chance to go 4-3. And I put on the big board that they would not be over 500.
No,
I Washington would win more games. I think me and Swole made a bet with that.
Wrote them off.
They're playing the Bears, which is a winnable game because they've beaten better teams already. If the Patriots go 4-3, could they have a chance to get to the wild card?
So I think they beat Chicago. And again, like you said, I mean, you still have Belichick. I mean, you don't have the weapons you had when you had Brady and everything there and the organization's in a rebuild. But at the end of the day, that's a dangerous coach. That man knows football.
It is. And I think people are realizing, hey, I think we forgot about Dre. You know what I'm saying? This he's what he is. He's what he is playing with. You can't name the players he's playing with. I mean, it's not one of these household superstar teams. You can name 15 different Eagles. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. And people forget about coaching. I've talked about teams that are winning that their coaches need to go. This dude right here shows why he may be the best coach.
I mean, his culture is everything. They're just very humble culture. They're very They're there to do a job. They get the once the
Next
job's
man up,
done, yeah, they're out.
Do your job.
Yep.
Do your job. All right, as we wrap this up, appreciate my brother getting on. We're giving y'all
Appreciate
the
you
insight. We're giving y'all the insight about different things. Listen, we talked about fantasy betting, who we think's over-unders, upsets of the week. But my final thing for my Terrell's thought is, man, I was in the bathroom today at a gas station while I was just got off work. And I'm sitting there and I'm looking and I'm like, people still put graffiti on bathroom walls and doors and stuff. What is going on, dude? This is 2022. What are we doing? Why are we messing up people's businesses and writing on stuff? If you want to do all these things and tell your interests, why do they make Facebook, Instagram, all these different things? People use Facebook as a diary anyway. Stop messing up businesses and writing up dumb stuff like and drawing pictures of private parts and everything. Man, get a life. Put it on social media or something like y'all do all the rest of this stuff. I don't know. That's just my Terrell's thought for today because it irritated the heck out of me. Thank y'all for watching on YouTube, listening on podcasts, Anchor, Spotify. Appreciate my brother. Let me use this casa. We chilling. Let's go, Yankees. Let's get it back. Thank you for my new subscribers. Check us out. Big day. We still praying for you. Love y'all. Thank you.
You all right?
Hell yeah.